Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
This is Saxophone, and you're listening to the Rising Rush podcast.
All right, welcome to the Rising Rush podcast, where we talk everything Dragon Ball Legends related, such as news, meta, hot takes, you name it. I am your host, A-Town, alongside our co-hosts, Opsto, Desla, and Glow. And today we actually have a special guest for today's episode. He has a total following for over 8,000 individuals spread around between Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. He's gone God rank over 48 times. He's the Dragon Ball Legends father of GT. Please welcome the infamous Saxophone. Welcome to the podcast.
What's up, guys? I appreciate you having me on this. And I told A-Town before when they asked me to be on this, I listened to this podcast on my way to work. So I said, you know what? I got to get on this thing. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course. Appreciate you being on as well. Well, let's go ahead and kick things off with the weekly reset as of the 4th of April. So you got our monthly Chrono Crystal sales refresh. So if you want to get some of those monthly refresh sales with the erasers and the energy, it's a really good deal. I believe it's like 3,800 CC. Go ahead and scoop those up. You get about 3 of those. We've also got the April Fool's event that dropped April 1st, which is the farmer featuring Raditz, which dropped a free-to-play Raditz unit. We'll talk a little bit more about that, if his kit is meta-breaking or if it's just straight bench. It also included a new raid as well that started as of the 2nd of April. That's going to go through the 24th of April, so that could possibly hint on what the next campaign is going to be, which we'll talk a little bit more about that. We've got the Master Roshi training. You're able to pick up some good materials for arts boosting. That's going on from the 3rd of April up until the 10th. We've also got a new 5.1.0 update, which also included a 200 Chrono Crystal distribution due to the long systems update that took place a couple of days ago. So I'll talk a little bit more about that as well to see what changes we've noticed. And we'll have our special guest segment talk, where we ask Sax some questions related to how he plays, maybe some personal questions, so that way you listeners are able to get a feel and a good understanding of who he is. But let's go ahead and start off with this new Raditz here. So I've played around in PvP. I've seen him maybe a couple of times. This could just be from people testing him out. It seems to be like a blast-based unit that has some interesting things in his kit. We'll start off with you, Sax. Have you experienced this unit at all, or used him, or ran into him? Do you think he's useful? What are your thoughts on him initially?
So when he first came out, I was like, you know what, I gotta be able to run this unit, because now I'm starting to get into YouTube, and I said, you know what, I gotta try all the new units that come out to try to test them. And let me say, the animations for this man, they did really good for a free-to-play unit. There's something about the April Fool's units that they do so much work and effort into this. And talking about, like, I've used him, I've went up against him. The blast can be able to do some decent damage. If you're looking to just kind of have some fun right now, yeah, you can be able to use this Raditz, but if you're looking at high-rank PvP, I would not recommend you use this, man, because everyone's going to be sweating so much trying to get to those top ranks. And I would say, yeah, he's a good unit for a free-to-play. We actually have had some good free-to-play units in Dragon Ball Legends, don't get me wrong. And his animations are really good. But again, this is for if you're just trying to have some fun, and I put that in quotation marks if you could see me right now. There's no fun in Legends. But if you want to like not try too hard, I would say be able to use this Raditz, because I have seen some people use him. And you know what? He seems like a pretty fun unit to be able to use.
For sure. And I think this unit also has an ultimate too. Is this one of the first free-to-play units that came with an ultimate, or is he the second?
There's actually 3.
3? What are the 3 again?
There's OG, like, Legends Road Kid Ku, and then there's the Fury Broly.
No, it's the Broly. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, you're right. Interesting. Okay. Well, it looks like the devs were cooking arts-wise with this unit. He definitely looks clean. But judging by his kit itself, it seems that they've gated his stats, it being at 80% damage inflicted, only getting 65, damage received, percentage cannot be canceled, which I believe the current standard is 70%. So, I mean, like Zach said, you're able to do some pretty cool things with him, but once you start climbing up the ranks, compared to do some blood, sweat, and tears, because it's no joke when you're running against these horrible blues. Which, I mean, there's a couple of them running around. You may see Janimbas, you may see some, MVP 17s, etc. But even at color neutral, I don't know if this guy's gonna hold up. Desla, what do you think about this Raditz? Do you think he's just a waste of time, or is he just glorified for his art, or is he usable?
I mean, kind of just echoing Sax's thoughts, where for me anyway, like in terms of personal bias towards the character, I actually feel like that's a lot, not gonna lie, and I still feel as though like we were cheated out of actually like getting to see his potential in the show. But that's a whole other conversation topic. As for his usability in the game with the unit we got, I do think that he's pretty solid. Again, good for fun and just like not really sweating too hard. He's definitely solid for that. As for where I stand with him currently, I just think that like even compared to like Pui Pui from last year, he doesn't really like hold up in terms of, I guess, like impact on like in quotations, because obviously like a free to play unit's going to have limited like impact to begin with because they gimp their stats like every, so it's just how it goes. But I do think that it also was kind of missed not to make the farmer playable, not gonna lie, because I would have killed to be able to pull out the shot against those Super
that was
17s, bro. Oh my
so
god.
that would have been so funny.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. But no, I do think they cook with them though. Like Sax says, animations are very good. Also, like the first time in Christ knows how long since we had a free to play unit with an actual ultimate. So thumbs up for that. Yeah, no, overall, definitely pretty good. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Glow, what do you think? You think this Raditz is usable, or pretty much echoing the other two's thoughts on this?
Honestly, he's a non-factor to me. Like April Fool's unit, nice for the jokes and everything. I like the animations, but other than that, I wouldn't care too much about him.
Just straight up a hot got him joke. I see that. And just looking at Pui Pui's kit, like Pui Pui has draw card art speed cannot be canceled, and this Raditz, he only has draw card art speed for 20 timer counts when he enters the battle. So you can already see some of the things that they've gimped within his kit. But he does have an ultimate that increases your sub count by 5, so you can kinda do some cool things and snipe off top units in a game. I don't know. Opso, what do you think? You think he's usable, or again is just a nice novelty?
Bro, I love Raditz. God has arrived. He will save us all. Bro, Raditz, a brother of Goku. He will save us all.
So we've got ourselves a prophecy believer here that Raditz is going to save us.
Of course I am. I am Raditz's #1 glazy. He deserved more.
Maybe we'll get an LF Raditz at some point. Maybe
that'd be so good.
I want it. And he's got to say Saturday Crush and Double Sunday like within his kit, just like in the Tenkaichi days.
Nah, his LF is going to be him using this special beam cannon.
Oh no. But going into the predictions now, so it seems that they're really pushing for Saiyan Saga. Do you guys think that's going to be the next campaign going in for April?
So for me, the reason why I was kind of on the edge of my seat for that is because barring OG like Red Ribbon Saga from like, original Dragon Ball, like the Saiyan Saga in general is like my favorite like saga period in Dragon Ball, like in a discussion. So kills me that they're going to do this as the last major thing before the anniversary, because I'd like to save, but if they drop the unit that I really want, which is a ×4 Kaioken Goku as an LF, then sorry anniversary, it's been fun. But yeah, I do think that it's very likely, because if you do look at the track record they already established last year with the Buu Saga being established as like the April campaign, the catalyst for that was actually Pui Pui being the free-to-play unit, and he's obviously from the Buu Saga. So I do think that given that, I mean, you have like the Goku that fought Raditz as the raid boss for this whole Raditz free-to-play thing. You have a free-to-play Raditz from the Saiyan Saga, so I think it's pretty telling. Again, what I like to see, I do hope they go with the same structure as what we got from last year with like I believe 2 Plats, 2 Zenkais, and then an LF and an Ultra. And for the Plats, I mean, the biggest one I want, because I'm never going to figure them for how much they fumbled that Zenkai dude. He was like one of my favorite units from year 1 ever. The transforming blue Kaioken Goku. Oh my god. I was coping so hard with his Zenkai. I know. I was coping so hard when his Zenkai came out. I'm like, he's not that bad, guys. I swear to God. But then reality, set in, and I'm like, yeah, no, he sucks ass. But, I would love a platform. It'd be fantastic. Another plat option could probably be Purple Scour Vegeta. I don't know. Like, I don't really have another, like, old Zenkai from the Saiyan Saga that, like, I'd really be too hard-pressed to get a plat. Maybe they go the route of, like, Awakening Yellow Piccolos, but I don't really, like, care that much.
Yeah.
As for Zenkai options, I would be cool with, like, the Blue Nappa, the Green Revival Gohan, obviously, like, the Goku the Fought Raditz, the support one. There's a bunch of options that are really good, so I don't think there's, like, too many opportunities where they could, like, necessarily miss. Like even the green Vegeta, that's like kind of like the predecessor for the LF8 Vegeta we already have. Like he'd be pretty good for an option. And Vegeta Clan, they need anything, so whatever. Give him some breadcrumbs, why not? As for the LF, I've already mentioned I would like to see, quite a lot. Not gonna lie. As for the Ultra, it's probably gonna just be a Vegeta, straight up. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Hopefully they don't fumble with this Vegeta if the Vegeta does end up getting an LF. We already saw what happened.
His name is Vegeta. It's gonna happen.
Oh boy.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, this is the Vegeta I actually like, so I like to, not have them, mess him up, but we'll see. Who knows?
We'll have to find out. Sats,
Yeah.
what do you think about the predictions here? Is there anything that you want to see coming into this next saga, or do you think it's going to be something completely different?
No, I think he does hit mostly all the points right there. It's going to be Saiyan Saga. What we're thinking could be a repeat from what last year was with the Majin Buu saga. And I talked about a couple of units. We're getting Zenkais, getting some plats. I'm pretty sure Ape doesn't have a plague, if I'm not mistaken.
He doesn't have one yet, no.
So-
does not have a.
It's
So
gonna do nothing. It's gonna do
Even
nothing.
well, hold on. You never know, because some units that were really bad. Hint: Forku was really bad until he got his plat. That could also help him out by giving him even more, because it's another Saiyan Saga unit that could help him out. Some units, maybe the Gohan and Piccolo.
Yeah.
That could also get a Zenkai. That's another unit. You guys talk about the Blue Nappa. That's another one. The Green Vegeta. In
The
terms
Green
of
Nappa or the Green Raditz, he can also get
the
a
Green
Zenkai
Raditz,
too.
the units that I'm thinking of, like the LF and the Ultra, I'm gonna do a little flip. I think would be cool. I don't know if it's gonna happen because none of what I predict anything comes true. But it would be cool to see a tag Nappa and Vegeta as the LF and the Ultra to be Kaioken.
Oh, I'd love that.
Can you not?
That I feel might be. Again, this is just my thoughts on it. That would be kind of cool if they go that route. They'll probably flip it around, where they'll put Kaioken as the LF and maybe put Vegeta as the Ultra. I don't know which route they're gonna go. Either way, I know a lot of people love Saiyan Saga, and this is Saiyan Saga was what I actually started when I watched Dragon Ball. I was watching. It was Nappa, I think, going up against Piccolo during that fight. I found it on Nicktoons. I said, "What is this?" And I loved it ever since, and then I wanted to watch every episode for the entire season. So that's what I started with Saiyan Saga. It holds a place in my heart, got me into it. So there's gonna be a lot of cool things that they do, and they've been stepping up their game, at least with the animations, not with the kit wise, because we don't talk about Final Flash for a little bit. Let's put them down for a second. But because they really just made that man, I don't know what they did. He deserved much more. I don't know what they did with that. It's so that could be for another discussion.
Yep.
But I think with Saiyan Saga, I think that they can hit the mark, and this is going to be most likely all of April. They could maybe do something in May right before anniversary to try to bait people, but we don't really know what's going to be after the Saiyan Saga. So I guess I'll cross my fingers for at least hype characters. That's all I'm going to say.
Gotcha. And like with Saiyan Saga, I mean, they've already got some pretty decent bench options like Yajirobe. He's buffing crit and HP, so if they get some really meta-defining units, they may be able to produce some crazy damage as long as they're able to stack up. So we'll have to see what they decide to come out with. Because I think the only usable unit out of this saga today is the Great Ape Vegeta. Everybody else, it's like you go into the top rank, just might as well just spread your cheeks because they're going in on you.
Oh, you actually know what? Another point. Would it be cool to see an LF Krillin?
Krillin's representation is like little to none. It would be nice, but
The only thing he does is when he has that blast against all the Cybermen. That's about as much as he does.
he's got to have the best.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to have the best death buffs in the game. That's all I'm saying.
That would be something. Krillin gets somewhat of representation in the game. We don't really have too much of him, but again, like he doesn't do much in Dragon Ball. We all know that. But something like we see Goku and Vegeta and all this Piccolo and all that, but maybe try to see some other characters. Maybe get some lights. Like we saw the TN who actually stopped the Rising Rushes. That was at least cool with him, like unique for him to have. They're not going to do much of Yamcha. They're not going to do a Chaozu.
No Yamcha, no Chaozu, no tag unit.
Have you not seen?
No.
Have you not seen the TUR Yamcha from Dokkan?
You're gonna the Dokkan haters. Don't kill me. Don't be up my ass. But
Yamcha was great when he came out. What do you mean they're not going to do much for Yamcha? They love him.
Yeah, they love him. They
I-
love this man.
I
So
can't speak for
that's just another like unit I just thought off the top of my head, but just something to like what they could spitball.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got some options to play with. I mean, at this point, just throw the dart on the board, and anything they get at this point will be useful.
Yeah.
What about you, Glow? Do you expect anything from this campaign, or what are your predictions coming up next?
So I'm gonna go off of the style Desla did. So my predictions are Ku Zenkai, the green ape Vegeta Zenkai for the two Zenkais. My next guest is a 1% plat for the purple Zenkai Scouter Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, he's one of the oldest units in Legends, and I'm like, two, I mean, he fits. He fits the build for what they're trying to do. And a 1% flat for Blue Kalkin and Goku. Now, for the LFs, I think they're gonna do LF and Ultra or Full LF. And my options for this are, if it's the Ultra, I only think there's one option if they do an Ultra, and that's Gallic Gun Vegeta.
No,
If it's an LF, I have these choices: LF Kaioken times 4 Goku, LF Revival Nappa to Vegeta, or third option Spirit Bomb Krillin.
Spirit
When
Bomb
Krillin goes to
Krillin.
Spirit Bomb, I think there's a genuine chance we could get a Goku that revives into Krillin with the Spirit Bomb. And I think what they could do is not necessarily a standby mode, but they can do something similar to with Pikkon and Gogeta, where Goku is kind of a lot more of a stally type, and based on how long you can like get the gauge up, the Spirit Bomb that Krillin uses is going to be stronger as a nuke.
Interesting. I can see something like that playing out for sure. Would it be better to have like a kind of standby unit, like a Goku Krillin tag unit, where you switch in a couple of times, similar to like the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and the Vegeta, and like Krillin is more, I guess, defensive. Oh no, well, I guess Goku would be more defensive while Krillin is, getting ready for that Spirit Bomb or
Normally, I
something.
would say that. Yeah, normally I would say that, but like in this fight, like if the Goku goes down, he doesn't come back up for the rest of the fight.
Yeah, it could be a Gohan and Krillin tag unit, and then the standby is Krillin
Mm-hmm.
going to get the Spirit Bomb.
Energy from Goku. It could be. I think either any of those options are good. I genuinely think with this Saiyan saga, they're gonna go very basic and choose LF Kaioken for Goku and Ultra Gallic Gun Vegeta,
Mm-hmm.
or they could have some real creativity. And I'm hoping they choose to be more creative.
There's definitely a chance. Like nobody was thinking of like Baby Trunks being in like the GT campaign, or so
No.
hey, we can definitely see that from here for sure. As for my predictions itself, like I would love to see the Blue Nappa get a Zenkai. The Green Raditz, just to have more like Saiyan Saga representation that's not a Goku or a Vegeta. And then, 8 Vegeta getting his 1% plat or his Uniki plat to get him up to speed. And then if they're gonna throw another Ultra, I may have to side with Desla on this and see like the times 4 Kaioken Goku, because I mean that moment is crazy. He's times 3 and he's all buffed up and he's just screaming times 4. It just goes crazy. I could definitely see that for sure, because we already got representation of like Great Ape Vegeta turning into the Great Ape and using his finishing move, but we don't have like an LF or I guess like a super big move that the animations are just on point for this times 4 Kaioken Goku. So hopefully either they throw him as like an Ultra or maybe an LF to really, put that representation there. But what I don't want to see is that Gohan Piccolo revive unit, because that's just going to make hybrids even more oppressive than what they already are. Could you guys imagine them
I
having
mean,
like a
that's what
revival?
Cryhan. We already have that unit with as we call him, Cryhan. But I don't think they're gonna touch that moment again for a while.
Let's hope. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for that one. But other than that, man, like we're quickly approaching the anniversary. Like we're already in April. They're probably gonna start giving us previews and like drop down or like what the countdowns towards like the end of April, beginning of May. So what are y'all predictions? We'll start off with you, Sax. What is your prediction for this anniversary coming up? What do you want to see?
Let's see. I don't know why that devs have this hate for this certain unit. Where's Godku? Where's he at? I feel like it's time for him to be in something, and that could be a great way to open, at least for the anniversary. They have maybe some sort of representation for at least the Battle of Gods. I don't know why they haven't done anything with that type of form, but maybe they start with that. At least right now, this anniversary prediction is all over the place. I literally have no idea what they're going to do. But if I had to guess something, maybe start with that. They got to go into Future. Future needs something. Future needs to get something.
They
And
used to
trust
get,
me,
bro. They
trust
used to
me.
get something every other month.
I know. Trust me. I care zero for that tag. I don't care about that tag. But if I'm trying to at least broaden my horizons, that's a tag I think that needs something. You don't really see much of Future right now. They're kind of in the mud. And for the Ultra, you already know my boy's coming. UG4. He's going to be there. And I'm ready for it.
And he's gonna be a defensive type too. Watch.
No, 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 no,
I
no, no,
think,
no, 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 no. No defensive.
my thing with Battle of Gods is normally I would have said like, okay, it's on the lower end of whether it happened or not. What's bothering me right now is what they did with this Resurrection of F stuff. They decided to make this Frieza movies for a reason which is like really weird. Everyone thought when they first dropped, like, okay, they're gonna treat Battle of Gods and Resurrection F as episodes. Can't treat them like the movies. And then for some reason now they just dropped this Frieza and like, you know what? We've changed our mind. They're now movies. But changing the old Resurrection of F stuff to movies, which is a little weird to me. So what I'm guessing now is that Resurrection of F and Battle of Gods, they're going to count both the episode and the movies, which is really dumb. And they're probably going to treat it that like, hey, whenever we want a movies buff, just go to that and just say it's movies. But then if we drop it and we don't want to buff movies, we'll just treat it like that saga. Oh, I think God Goku, I think like my predictions right now for anniversary are I'll tell you right now, I don't think a Broly movie, DBS Broly, is not coming for anniversary. It's guaranteed fest, in my opinion, but it's not coming to anniversary. I think anniversary is going to be possibly a new LF Super Vegito, God Goku. There's a chance of Resurrection Tag ROF Blues, but I think UG4 is like a guarantee.
Interesting. I mean, it's been a little bit since we had like some direct God key buffs, so it might be that time to breathe some light into that tag. Unless you guys feel differently about that tag as a whole, is God key runnable in top ranks?
Not really.
No, you don't really
God Key
see
has
it.
no identity. The last like God Key unit that specifically buffed them as like a main tag on the Z ability was it Rev UI?
I think.
Yeah.
I think Rev UI was the last unit specifically buffed God Key on like a tag on one of its Z abilities. And like I'm talking like an actual one, not like some 15% Z ability buff.
Yeah, the extra tackle on that they throw on in the end. But what about Evoken? Do they buff
That
them?
that's what I was gonna say. Evil can, but I don't know.
They don't. They only buff
They don't.
Universe,
They
Reps,
only do like
Vegeta Clan, and Sun
15%.
Family.
Yo, that's so funny. I'm so sorry. That's so bad. That's so bad.
And that's why they're forgotten.
Just like them.
It's hilarious, honestly.
I'm laughing, but that's also really bad. Jesus, I don't even know. I don't even have the unit.
Like at least the OG Blue Bros, at least they had like they buff God Key.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems they had their intentions of where they wanted that particular unit to be on, Universe Reps. But like they clash when they have Ultra UI on there. Like, cause you have your main damage dealing unit, and then you're gonna run, MVP 17 because he's solidified on the top 10 list no matter what, because this kid is just timeless. And then your third is either Jiren, which I know we don't have people in this place that like Jiren, but he's a wall built right. Or you could, like, what else? You're not running this tag Evo Ken over Jiren, are you?
I don't think so.
So
See? So, but I mean, nevertheless, anniversary is right along the way, and we could see some Battle of the Gods stuff. Like, if we get a LF or Ultra, like, first God form Goku, and his green card is that screen where I won't let you destroy my world, I'd lose it. I'd probably get him, like, in the red, 14 star straight up. But Dezel, what are your predictions for the anniversary?
So for me, what I'd like to go for a route is kind of going with the idea that y'all been like kind of like spitballing around with, Gaku being in the works, and kind of go with a double ritual theme for part one, and that could be God Goku from Battle of Gods, and then the full power ritual against Baby for Super Saiyan 4. So 2 of those LFs for headlining for part one. I think I'd like that a lot,
Okay.
honestly. So that'd be pretty nice. Part two, if they want to go the route of still going with the what if kind of thing, honest to God, dude, like Cooler and Frieza has to happen.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
Well, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Aha.
Yeah,
Never
it'd be
know.
cool.
Yeah, but no, that and then also if they want to honestly just like go nuts because they already established that they have no issue with like dropping like double LF banner for part two, they could honestly go with like that cooler and Frieza tag unit, but they could also do a Z Broly and Super Broly tag unit as well. That will be fire. I gotta be honest. I would love that a lot. And then part three, I mean, at this point, if it's not UG4, then I don't know what they're doing. Like, it'd be very weird. I can't even think of anyone else that really fits the bill at this point that would be able to carry a part three. Like, yeah,
At
no,
least for like the anniversary, I think that's what you're talking about, right? Like a
right,
hyping up,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. I can't really think of anyone else off the top of my head that like just needs to have an ultra right now. Like, no, not really. So
Like
yeah, I kind of hope it's him.
I think we're at a point like this game, what was the 6 year anniversary that we're quickly approaching?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they've practically hit most, if not all, like moments, top tier moments within the Dragon Ball Z and Super and Dragon Ball universe at this point. So, we might see some, original stuff where we got this Goku Bardock, which, I'm praying that we get a Frieza cooler tag unit so LOE can just stomp the meta all over again. Or it's got to be Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's gonna make people's bank accounts go inside out for sure. And
Man.
we've seen a trend where fusions usually get their buff during these anniversaries. So it may be that time for fusions to reclaim their glory in the meta.
The yearly fusions unit.
Exactly, the yearly fusions unit that's going to have probably 2 unique gauges, nullify endurance off of attack, green cards like fill up your gauge, restores your vanish, counters everything in the game, all types of crazy stuff that he's going to be able to do. Because right now, power creep is real. Like, I don't understand what are they going to do about Super 17. We see what's happening with Gohan with the blast card cost up because of Frieza. So I'm glad that, he's starting to slow down in the meta, but we still have an issue, which is the Super 17. And even though Janemba kind of walls him a little bit, we still need that oppressive blue.
USB is the best wall to him, hands down.
Yeah, USB is.
Also,
Like, I don't like Sax. Have you seen the clips Taco be posting about his USB?
No, but I had to see. You know what's funny? Everybody, and I went on a rant about this. I was so angry at, and I'm going to put these in quotations, the GT people. They were so upset that it was going to be a Goku and it was going to be USB. And I'm sitting there, why are you getting mad when GT got nothing for a year? I don't care who it was. My tag is actually getting something. We've been in the mud for a year. And they got angry and they were annoyed that it was going to be Goku. Who cares? Who cares who's Goku? And right now, people are respecting him more because now they see that he is a tank, he is a wall that you have to be able to go through. And right now, everybody is doing the Uno reverse and saying, man, this unit is great. That does, trust me, he has some flaws. We already know that he has one, the goddamn key restore. But
Yeah, no key is crazy.
no key is crazy for 2024. But it's not the point. It's the point that we didn't get a damn thing for 2023, and they were angry and upset that it was going to be a Goku. I didn't care. I was happy I was getting an LF. Everyone, even on Twitter, everyone was saying, oh my god, I hate this, I hate this. I said, I don't. I love this. I'm ready for it. Let's go. I'm ready. I have 200,000 Chrono Crystals that need to be spent now.
How much
20,000.
how much of it did you use?
Oh, crap. Maybe 97, 96, and I didn't even 14 star him. I have horrible summon luck.
Oh,
I'm so
wow.
bad at summoning.
How much did
Someone
you
was
spend
pretty
on
bad.
Super 17?
Maybe 80.
Wow.
Wow.
So 14?
Yeah, 14. You know what the worst part about it is? I got him 9 stars and 10k.
You got to have the worst luck I've
That
ever
is
heard.
bad.
Yeah, no, it's so bad. It's so bad. And that's why I am terrified to summon for Ultra Gogeta 4. I am terrified because this is a character that I've wanted in this game for so long. So long. I want him to be the king. I want him to destroy. I want him to destroy everything. But I'm so scared my summon luck is going to be trash. So that's why I'm getting so much CC right now.
Well, I'm gonna throw some luck your way so you're able to get them in one rotation. Hopefully, you'll keep getting them and not spend 97 chrono crystals just to see them at 10 stars. Because I mean, that's I've seen people like uninstall the game if they go in 50k CC and didn't pull a unit. So
Yeah, I did summon on some ultra banners. I summoned. Let's see. I summoned on USG. 20k didn't get him. I summoned on Kyle Ken for like 9k, didn't get him. I summoned for USV, got him. I summoned for Hit, got him, and UVB, got him. I tried to summon for Gogeta Blue, but I just missed his banner right before it ended because it was going into maintenance. I was gonna try. I've never touched that unit. I've never used him. Not even in Battle Hour.
wow,
Never used him.
Which unit?
Crazy.
And which unit?
UGB. I've never used him.
that's
Not
crazy.
once.
Well, now that we're on this Frieza talk, this actually goes into our next segment, which is Frieza after 1 week later. Is he still oppressive? Is he still the answer that the meta has been screaming for? We'll start off with you, Glow. You've had the most time using him since you've had him since what, day one? Is he
Yeah,
still doing the
2 hours.
same thing, or what's his best teams now? Has it changed?
I think is arguably number one, which is actually insane as hell.
Wow, number one out of all of
Essentially,
them?
yeah, well, number one in the game. So right now the discussion is between it's guaranteed between Frieza and Super 17. Gohan has been knocked down to guaranteed for a lot of people 2 or 3. The thing with this Frieza is that when they're comparing it to Super 17 is that Super 17 has access to like some of the most optimal Zenkai benches and he gets access to like 3 of them. This Frieza at the same time gets something similar. But on so the argument people are saying is that on a Glaze setup, both of them getting like all their max Zenkai benches in an optimal team, Frieza's better. But what they're saying is that on a situation of no Zenkai benches, Super 17 is better. Now, but most people are going to run Glaze setups for Super 17. Most people are going to run Glaze setups for Frieza. Therefore, Frieza's better. And the thing is that this Frieza essentially, it's just one, he's a perfect color. Two, he has perfect things in his kit to just work with stuff. He's an anti-blast unit. He has an AoE nuke. He has so much stuff to punish specifically Super 17 and Gohan teams. I run Saxes, I run Janimba, Frieza, and Beast. And that team, like at first I was a little skeptical, like, all right, this is like 3 kind of beat stick units. How's this gonna work? It actually works pretty well. At the beginning, you will have 3 blast cover changes, which sucks against some strike-based teams. But against the George's Gohan team, you're always going to have at least a viable cover change. And if they have a strike, either they're going to use it or they're going to try and drop combo you. So you just got to always be prepared. And then once you transform into Beast, you get access to the strike cover change, which at that point now they have to be careful no matter what because they'll know that you have cover changes for both now. This Frieza and Janemba is probably my favorite combo. This Frieza, if you're getting comboed while he has gauge and you switch into somebody else, the unit you switch into will get the green card. So you can get green cards with Beast to destroy your other enemy's green cards. You can get green cards with Janimba to reduce Dragon Balls of your enemy and like mess up their key. Like I think like honestly, it's pretty good. I genuinely do enjoy it though. Like what this Frieza can do for the meta and I think what the meta really need, because his best setup, like I'm running that movie setup, that's his best movie setup. His best actual full-on setup is leader slot USB, Golden Frieza, and first form LF Frieza Zenkai. That's his best team. And arguably that's the best team in the game.
Really? Say that
Mhm.
team again. I'm writing this down. Hold on. Say that again.
Leader slot, Ultimate Spirit Bomb Goku,
Uh huh.
Golden Frieza, and then LF First Form Frieza. And then your bench is Shield. What was it? Shield. You can run Jiren. And then who is the other purple PO? There's a third one. I don't remember.
Janumba. Well, he's regen, but he busts PO.
Yeah, no, not Janemba. What is it? Turles. Yeah,
Turles.
Turles.
Dang. But what about the Glaze like LOE setup where you have Go Frieza, the Ultra Frieza, and then Cooler? Is that not as good anymore, or is there a better team to
So
run?
the problem with that is Cooler is only there for his crit buffs, and Cooler is a non-factor. He's not good, even with the plat. Go Frieza is solid on those glaze setups. The problem with Go Frieza is that Universe Reps is now like Gohan's best team now is Gohan on Universe Reps. leader there with UI and MVP 17.
Mm-hmm.
And that team will just run through LOE. Like LOE's problem is that it's going to be just UGF carry, and it's essentially two carry units and one support that can't really hang. Mind you, you have on the Glaze setup USB, best defensive tank in the game, UGF, and then you have Alexa, who has like arguably the best support in the game, one of the best supports in the game. And to be honest, I think we need to have a conversation later for another day on how that first form LF Frieza, he might be the best age like unit in the game.
Interesting, because I was
Because
going
he
to
has
ask
had
about that
relevancy
too.
since he's dropped. He has had like relevancy since the day he dropped.
And he holds the blue too. That supplies more blue cards to the team too, right?
Yeah, he supplies blue cards. He gives like massive buffs as long as he's still alive. It's like he's one of those units where I think the only way he ever like everyone thought like, okay, purple units come to his teams, he's gonna get replaced. Oh, Frieza came. He's still here. Other purple units came for his teams. He's still here. He still exists. I think the thing about him is that like remember he gives 30% damage and 50% key recovery just for existing for his team. That is a lot. He has access to like really good quips because he's PO and LOE. He has access to numerous Zenkai benches, so you can always abuse that for defense. Like he is essentially just a utility unit that has stuff that to this day, like are still good.
And I believe he does buff removals too when he does a cover change, right? Or when he comes into battle.
He comes in the battle twice, and people forget that because what some people will do is they will use the cover change, and then they'll switch into Frieza, remove the opponent's cover null, and then switch into another unit that has a cover change. And the opponent will be like, "How did he cover change me? I thought I had cover null, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't anymore."
Interesting, interesting.
Hmm.
So what about you, Sax? Do you think what do you think of this Frieza overall? Do you agree that he may be top for number one, or what has been your experience with him in the meta?
I've been experiencing him. It's actually funny. The first match I went up against him, you already know, Ultra Golden Frieza, Super 17, and Ultra Gohan. I said, what am I experiencing right now? Why is this the first match I'm going up against this Frieza? I was like, God damn it. I was like, all right. This Frieza right now, I don't know. In the beginning, he wasn't really getting. This is just my personal experience. Like, it wasn't getting maybe much love. I don't know why, but because they're trying to test him out. That's what every one of us does. They don't really hype a unit. If they don't do that, then he's amazing. If they overhype, then he just sucks. I've seen that just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But right now with this Frieza, to me, it depends on the person who's using and controlling him. There's so many people that are saying Super 17's number one. So many people that are saying at least Ultra Golden Frieza is number one. It's one of those two. It's going to be number one. I think Gohan right now solidifies number three.
Mm-hmm.
Like Glow said, it's one of these two units. It all depends on what type of setup you're using right now. The key blast was at least I see what they were going for to try to stop, and it's funny because you look at the description of when you go on Frieza on the Legends page. It said, "Oh, you can be able to use this to stop Gohan and 17," because they realized that everyone's using them together. So that was nice to be able to see. It's actually a little bit better for 17 because you can get rid of it right from the start by using the strike and then going into his.
Gohan can get rid of it because Lucky with a green.
Yeah, if he has that green card there too. But I mean, you know what I'm gonna say. I think it's not like there's this big gap between both Frieza and 17. I don't know. It's funny because they said that ultras are gonna come out so much for at least for this year. Before that, I can't remember exactly, but I thought I remember Toshi saying the ultras aren't going to be coming out so much. Super 17 is an ultra trapped in the LF body right now. I mean, let's be real about this. They used this for Battle Hour 2023 when they released Ultra Rose. I hate that guy. I hate that man. I was not really. I was on stage when they released that, and you know what? For a Battle Hour for a hype event, they had to make this character stupid. Trust me, they did. They made Ultra Rose stupid with the stupid paralysis. And I repent for your sins every single time when you use the green card. Annoying. Now what they did for Battle Hour 2024, they made Super 17. They had to make them stupid.
So, Sax, have you seen that weird, like, it makes sense to me when I see this. That little tech Super 17 players do where mid combo, they'll use a green card from long range.
Oh, that's the tech I'm using. That's the tech
I see it and I hate think that it works.
To me, it's so you have to use a strike card in the beginning. Like I'm sure you know it, but for people that don't know, it's you have to use a strike card immediately, and then after you hit the strike card, immediately hit the green card. As soon as that happens, you have to sidestep right away because people are not going to realize that you can be able to PV. It's going to PV almost every time because people are going to try to throw a strike or blast. Doesn't matter what this. If they throw a tap, you're going to get caught. But if they throw a strike or blast, you're going to PV that, or even a blue. Doesn't matter. You're gonna PV that, you're type neutral, and you're going nuts. Sure, if they burn on a blue unit, they're still gonna die.
Wow.
That tech, and I learned that from, shout out Special, because he actually showed me that. I said, let me use this. And I use it a decent amount in some of the matches because people are like, oh, he just used a green card? Why did he use a green card? No, I go type neutral, and I PV you, and then you're just dead right then and there. But I will say Frieza has an upper hand with the counter, the comeback, the comeback. The damage he does, even to yellow units, is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane how much damage he can be able to do. The bleed, you got no cards. You can still switch, but your vanish doesn't come back. Even when you're using baby, that his gauge doesn't fill up from that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a full health baby kicking Frieza's ass, but as soon as the comeback comes, I'm at half health. I said, what is this? That type neutral, that comeback, that laser beam. It's funny animations when all of them do like that. Eyes are wide open. They're like, oh my god! Every unit. It's funny, but the damage that this man can do that's why I can see people putting him at number one, and I don't mind people saying that he's at number one because people have good arguments for that man being number one, and I've seen a lot more juiced up setups with him. And I can see why people are saying that because I've seen this man just do the combos forever and do the damage that he does.
Yep, the green card teams.
Oh yeah. Getting that cover null. I think it's once his gauge is full. Glow, correct me if I'm wrong. When the gauge is full, he gets a two times cargo speed.
Or Frieza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if people don't know, the Frieza is also kind of glitched, which is funny as hell. So it's not consistent, but you can get like what is it? Because he normally has +1. Gets another level if he has the gauge, but there's a way for his gauge to trigger twice, and it's the dumbest thing ever. And essentially, if his gauge is 75% or higher, and you use a green card, there's a chance for the gauge to proc twice. You'll know the gauge proc from your side if you see your strike arts go to like 9 cost. I have screenshots proving that it happened to me and a few other people too. And when that happens, like, yeah, he is for sure number one. I'll tell you that.
Wow. So he's getting +3 draw card speed because he
He's
already has a
getting
+1 and
+3 level, so he'll be technically at level 4 card draw speed.
oh my gosh.
It's-
So then he's
And
just
and I'm so sorry to cut you off for Aton. So I feel like the only unit right now to stop him, like at least, but it's not really gonna stop him because he's just gonna keep in the cards is baby to get the remove vanish and stop the cards. But if you're saying it's ×4, he'll just get those cards back. It doesn't really matter.
yep.
But mind you, it doesn't always happen. It sometimes happens.
Sometimes.
So it's glitchy. But I feel like Super Baby 2 is definitely the best option against like these purples right now. Like UI is slowly fell off and like he can't really tank too well, to be honest. So if you have a handful of blasts or if his gauge is gone, like you can just combo through his, the color disadvantage and really just down him. Even though that, this UI Goku, he can lock you in if you can stop like you from switching into another unit and stuff and essentially guarantee killing of a unit. Like he has to have that happen. And I feel like with this Ultra Frieza, he's so aggressive. He's not going to have a chance to even do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion. I will say this. A lot of people are kind of G-checking baby. They're trying to see whether he's a fraud or not. Some content creators tried to do like hour and a half streams just running baby. They said they weren't impressed. Others have said like, oh, he's like the best unit this meta. I think the thing with baby, a lot of people have to realize is that I've even said this too, and it's part of the reason why I'm a little mixed on their philosophy with GT. Is that they've given GT so many double defense benches, and then they've sprinkled the team with so much support where they're like, all right, we want the team's defense to come from Z abilities, but we want the team's damage to come from the support all these units give. And I'm like kind of mixed on it, whether that's even good or not,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm seeing baby on these teams where like Sax, like for example, what do you think is Baby's best team? If Baby is to be the focus, what do you think is his best version on GT?
Bola, USB, and him. And I think Mr. Quips actually, shout out to him. He gave me a setup that's actually been fun with me. Is you put those two together. It's like I said, like Bola and USB are like basically the two staple units that you're using for GT right now. You got Bola's amazing support, which again, no one gave her credit for because, and I'll get to.
I claim that.
No, and the Glow claimed it, so we heard it right here, folks. Glow claimed it. I was actually sort of, and it's unfortunate because, and this is what my point is. Every support unit that comes out, always for me at least, and you guys can tell me I'm wrong, or always compared to Pan. If it's not the Pan support, trash.
Well, have you run into Pan once?
Oh yeah, people still use Pan.
Exactly, exactly.
So, and it's unfortunate because every support unit that's going to come out is just going to be compared to Pan, and if it's not like that, then it's just not going to be a good support unit until you actually use it.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. So, it's the bench units that I'll get to with Baby setup is you put Forku, you put Namku to get a Zenka buff for USB, and then you put the EX Yellow Broly.
Oh, LF4Ku bench?
No, LF4Ku is in there. I don't know if I said that. LF4Ku is in there.
Wait, so no HP bench?
No HP. Nope.
Oh, it's full aggressive.
No, it's crazy.
No HP. I have triple defense. You don't need the HP. You have triple defense. Trust me, I hate, as you said, I don't know why they keep giving double defense, but if you have triple defense, you don't need HP. You don't.
I guess that makes sense. That makes sense. Like, from a numbers perspective, that makes sense. It's just, I always have like a knee-jerk reaction to seeing a team with no HP bench.
Yeah, that's just what, at least for the Baby setup I have to try to be able to put out much damage, because if you're using the HP, you're getting rid of a slot for some damage to be able to be created. Because right now, like you said, GT is all great. We got defense. We can tank.
Mm-hmm.
There's offense. We can't do any damage. We're like, what the hell is going on? Because in the kit, they're going to be all support. No, give some strike. Super 17 is, like, out of the news, besides Super 17, Pan, Giru, and Trunks. Oh, I'm sorry, there's another unit. The Baby Trunks.
Yep.
Those are all ones that are giving, like, their appropriate amounts of attack in their Z ability. USB didn't get it. Bola didn't get it. Baby didn't get it. Why are we doing double defense? We already gave it to these other units. Let's go for some attack. If you want the GT to do it, you want GT to shake up the meta, is what they talked about in the beginning of the GT campaign, where I was literally losing my mind, dancing all over the place. And I looked over at ZVG stream, and he's sitting there with a bored look on his face. I said, I don't care. I am happy. He didn't care at all.
I will say there is one theory I have on why they gave GT double defense. One is for the reasons we've always stated. It's two, to set the foundation for GT to actually be a real tag in the future. Because let's say they Zenkai some units to buff GT. GT has like really bad options when it comes to like Zenkai benches that are like specifically GT units.
There's
Like,
a
so
couple. To come up with some units that would be okay. Sin, he's got blast attack and defense that can help out for sure. You're gonna get the Zenkai buff. It's not gonna be Shadow Dragon because I'm gonna go to Toshi and be like, "What are you doing?"
Shadow Dragon's petty.
No, there's no way it's gonna be Yellow Shadow Dragon. That's just not gonna happen. Yeah. He'll be GT. Yes, if you're putting Baby, USB, and 17 together, that's also a team to put together. Mm-hmm. You can get the blast attack and defense. That's gonna help out 17. Also, it's going to help out Baby because he doesn't have much blast defense right now. And blast is all over the place, except for, when you're going up against Golden Frieza. But before, it was all blast. Super 17, all blast. So at least have some blast defense. That could help. Majub, he's the one who's also got some 35. I believe it's blast attack and defense. And Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Double offense.
I had to check on that. I think you're right, but let me see, because I can pull it up right here. I got it on my handy dandy computer.
He's double offense and then strike defense 18% to Fusion Warrior and GT 18%.
So that could also help out too, but also the Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Yeah, like they have these options, but it's like, why? Like they have all these options for Zenkais. Why aren't they choosing them?
Trust me, You're preaching to the choir. Nova, Ice, give them that. They got good Z abilities. I don't know why they're giving it to Super Saiyan 4 Purple Goku, Vegeta, who have the single Z abilities, because they thought, oh, 38%? Woo, that's going to be a good number. Where's the defense? They put Blue Baby. Give him both double defense. That would have been a better
I mean,
option. Why is it just
like
strike?
these single stat, exactly, like these single stat Z abilities are like horrible. Like, there's a reason I hate running Reginimba bench, because it's like, bro, I'd rather run Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 bench than what's it called? Than Reginimba bench. Because like I'm thinking to myself at that point, yeah, sure, I'm getting the Zenkai bench to the unit I want. What about everyone else? Everyone else is now getting screwed because all they're getting is a single stat.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's so like back then for Legends, it's a totally different game from when they first made this to what it is now.
Power
I think we
creep.
can all agree that so much has changed
Yep.
with this game,
It
and
has.
you'll never see single Z abilities again, never again. But if
I
you
can't
try
wait to
to,
see one for the anniversary.
it's gonna be GT. It's just gonna happen. It's just gonna give us single Z abilities for GT, just whatever it is. But oh crap, I lost my train of thought.
Well, back to Frieza. So
Okay,
overall,
yeah, that's Frieza.
he's pretty much solidified 2-1 at this point, and the Ultra Gohan, he's number 3. There's no doubt about that at this point, right?
Yeah, he's definitely top 3. He's definitely top 3. Nowhere else that he needs to go. I feel like at a 1v3 standpoint, trying to come back, Gohan might be able to go to number 2 and possibly number 1. For how many times that I've been 1v3'd from him, and you guys might have gone up against him. It's tough to go up against him when he's last man standing. It's tough.
With
We
the
all
2
know it.
ults. Yep.
2 ults. He gets
Does
his
not
vanish
even
back instantly.
begin to describe. Like Sax, tell me if this is true or not. When you fight a last man standing Gohan, you get flashbacks to FSK.
Oh yeah, I get flashbacks to that, and then trust me, I'm not comparing FSK. Okay, I'm not comparing FSK to Forku, but Forku was also a nuke to be able to be reckoned with when he got his Zenkai at a last man standing. He's not anywhere near the level of what FSK is. Trust me, it's FSK, or you could put even this Ultra Gohan at number 1 with last man standing. But there is to also be some discussion with Forku being at least somewhat of a last man standing with how much damage he could do.
Yeah.
That's all.
Last man standing was like killing some red units that I was honestly surprised he was doing.
Yeah, and trust me, I loved being able to use that. That was an interesting time in 2022.
So overall, Desla, we're gonna go to you. So for this Frieza, though, do you see much of a change with him being at his placement at number 3, or have you seen any additional team comps since running into him in the meta, or is it still the same as last week?
So for me, in terms of where I stand with them, I honestly, just full transparency for this, what I like to usually do if I'm just like at a point where I'm like fed up with a meta is I will like just bulk grind like within the first 2 days of the season and like hit 70 like frame 1 and then just like bounce. Like I don't want anything to do with like, you know, drawing it out. I just want to have it done and then I can dip for like almost a week plus and then come back. But during that like initial grind, I did run into a couple of like, you know, glazed Frieza comps, and I'll be honest with you, dude, like even Baby, like he was not enough of like a deterrent to like fully stop this Frieza, because like Sax mentioned, like dude, I could be like destroying a Frieza with Baby, but the moment that like that comeback goes off, like I'm losing at least half my health. It's ridiculous. Like whatever. But as for where I stand with him, I do think that I mean, again, it's where I mentioned the last pod. Like, if you don't have at least top 3, like your opinion's irrelevant. I'm sorry. There's really no other way around it. Like, you just don't know what you're talking about. Like, for the moment right now, I do think that again, like I mentioned before, he was very much the release. So at this point, like, yes, he is definitely impactful to say the very least. But regardless of that, I mean, again, like, you know, villains need all the help they can get, and on top of that, like I really do think that in terms of who we're looking at with the 2 dictators that we had, you know, prior to him even coming out with, you know, Gohan Super 17,
Yep.
I do think that, you know, at least taking down one of them is a better option than not at all. So I'll take it. I pray to God, I hope and pray that UG4 is blue and just spank Super 17. Please do it.
It's got to happen. I mean, that's
Just put him in a
solidified at this point. So Super 17, you've got 2 months to go before the dark cloud goes over your head. So what about you? Do you still have the same opinions as Frieza from our last pod last week, or has he moved up a spot for you to 2 to 1, or what?
He's moved up for me. Like he's just doing way more than Gohan, despite Gohan just nullifying the entire game. But the difference being is each of their impact, and Golden Frieza, from my experience, has way more impact in the game than Gohan.
Agreed. And you think that the terrorist Super 17 is still at number 1, just barely?
He's still at number 1, but you can even say that Golden Frieza's tying him for that. You can go either way.
Interesting. All right. Well, Frieza, you're tied for number 1. My opinion is pretty much the same. Again, based off of how blast-based this meta is, this Frieza is definitely doing his part by shutting them down. His comeback mechanic is extremely strong. Him restoring his advantage on green card is extremely strong. His blast armor on strike to start those combos. Like he's doing so much. It's just for where his teams currently sit. You have quite a few teams you can run them with. You can run the Glaze comp. You can run like a PO movies, etc. But it's pretty apparent of where he sits right now, which is really great to see. And I'm glad that I was able to get a couple copies of him. So that's it for the Meta Talks. Now we're going to move into our special guest segment where we drill Sax with some questions from all of our hosts here.
Pause. That sounded crazy.
Oh, no. Hey, not even...
Wait, we drill him in? Whoa.
No. We're not... No one's drilling nobody like that, okay? Relax. So I'll start off with one of my questions. So, Sax, currently... we know what your name is, but we've heard that you had a name change about a year ago. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so when I first started to get into streaming, I loved GT, and no one was really streaming it. And so I said, you know what? I got to be the guy to be able to do it. And so Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was my favorite character. I went with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And the reason why I also said 97 was because that's when Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta appeared in 97. And I had that for a while. And I said, you know what? If I'm trying to grow my channel for Twitch, I had to choose a more universal name. I'm kind of just tied with, Dragon Ball. So about a year ago, I said, you know what? I've got to make a change. What am I going to change it to? I'm trying to think of all. And I said, you know what? I play saxophone, and I'm putting this in quotation marks as professionally. So I said, you know what? Let's go with saxophone. It's a universal name. Everyone can know me, and I'm not tied to at least. I have music, but at least I'm not tied to like a certain game or something like that.
Very interesting. And on your previous streams too, you've had played on stream. I've heard a couple of your work. You're actually pretty nice with it.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm just trying to, you don't really see much of at least, Dragon Ball creators, at least I'd say, that, playing at least in instruments. I know people play instruments on like different type of settings, but for me to try to stick out from everybody else, and that's what I've wanted to since I started streaming, was be different. And trust me, I at least was different. So at least try to me playing saxophone is on stream or trying to do some covers, trying to at least just get myself out there and just try to be different.
Well, you're doing a great job. And, if you guys haven't checked him out yet, definitely check out his YouTube and his Twitch channels. He's also got some previous recorded sessions there. You can hear some of the songs that he's played. And if you're not following him on Twitter as well, he's also got some clips there. So if you want to go ahead and get yourself a listen, by all means, give this man a follow. All right, we're going to pass it over to Glow. Glow, what questions you got for Sax?
So the questions I have for Sax is, number one, if you could have any GT unit just in the game, regardless of like meta impact or anything, what would it be?
I talked about the April Fools being the Power Brothers. I feel like that'd be funny just for that occasion, because everyone doing the Power dance as the ultimate would be hilarious. Seeing Gogeta Blue hit the Power dance would be hilarious to see. But one of my all-time units that I would love to be in the game, and no, it's not UG4, and no, it's not Ultra 4Ku. Baby has come out, yes, but it's not the original Baby that I want to come. My original thought process would have been so cool is you start off as Vegeta. When he dies, he revives and gets taken over by Baby, and you become back to Super Baby 2.
Interesting.
That would have been one of my all-time units. See, and I've talked about that many times. That would have been because one, GT needs to revive, and you'd be able to put Vegeta Clan. You put them in there. They get that in the beginning. They get the Vegeta Clan, and you get at least the GT from you get Generation. You get powerful opponents. You get so many tags that this man could be able to have. plus Saiyans. We already had the Vegeta Form Saiyans. But that would have been an awesome unit to just see him getting possessed. He's got the cut on him. You see Baby just taking over his body, and you see the eyes. So when he gets possessed, like they have in fighters, that would have been a cool option to see.
That's pretty
That
dope.
that's definitely interesting. That's interesting. My second question is, if you weren't maining GT, what team would you be in?
You'll actually find this funny, Glow. I was gonna make movies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo,
Another movies man,
ZVG's
huh?
gonna hate hearing
Damn.
that. Oh my God,
Uh,
I won.
I was gonna make movies. I don't know what it was about it. I remember using BoJack way back then, and I just loved to be able to use that with the double cover, not double cover chains, just automatic cover chains that he could do. Didn't really matter what unit was there. And another character I love, and I'm surprised he doesn't have his LF version of it yet, is Turles. I don't know what it is about him, but I'm ready for an LF Turles. I don't know what it is about him, but there's something about him that I liked when he came out with that green Super Saiyan Goku. I was trying to get Turles. I didn't even care about him. I was trying to get Turles. So movies would have been my second option.
Mm.
Yeah, man, I've been saying because like that yellow Turles is like his kit is based off of purple LF First Form Frieza the Zenkai. And I was like, if we ever get an LF Turles, just make him a modern version of that. I really need it.
That'd be a cool option.
It definitely would be. And my third question was, so this is like, this is more related to the anime. So they made a post recently to Atara and them saying that this next Black Frieza arc is the ending of Super. How he ended off the like thing saying like, okay, we're working on this, working on more stuff. Hope you guys enjoy more stuff like Super Dragon Ball Heroes, Daima, and GT as Dragon Ball Super ends. So people were like, okay, why'd they shout out GT? And at the end, his wording was, I'll be taking a break soon so I and the other amazing Dragon Ball staff members can prepare for the epic tour ahead of us. The Godly Saga ends soon so a grand adventure can begin. Do you think after Super is done, they will do anything with GT? Do you think they'll reboot GT or just redo GT with just updated graphics?
Oh wow, this is my first time hearing about this. So, and I didn't really know anything about that was actually happening. I know about like Black Frieza and all that. I'm actually interested to see how that fight is gonna happen in the
We don't know
manga.
anything about like after. It's just the wording is throwing people off.
That's and you the certain words that you were using, the Tor and the
Grand.
Grant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Grand
like,
tour.
whoa, I don't really know how I feel about it. I mean, could they bring it back and they put new villains? And trust me, Super Saiyan 4 is my favorite transformation, duh. But just the fact that it goes back to the Saiyan roots of when you're using the tail. That's what I like the most about it. But I didn't even know about like the certain words that they put in. And if they do, I'm all for it. I like to see what they have as another option, but I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah, people are saying that if they ever reboot GT, they're probably gonna keep the same villains. They're gonna add and mix stuff in that makes it that like it works with like the timeline for Super.
I would just love to see Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta again. That man needs a redemption.
For sure. But what are they gonna do with the god forms though? Like they're just gonna retire them and
One
really
knows.
focus?
They'll probably have some reason for it. Either they'll include them in GT, a GT reboot, or something will happen where they just don't use them.
So the only thing I can maybe think that something happens to their god form and they can't go to it. They lose it. Like
Beer
they can't go god
size.
anymore.
Or they could even say that Super Saiyan 4 is just a natural evolution of a Saiyan's god form.
That too.
That could be something. So no, I gotta look more into that. Man, that's I didn't even know as you said that, nothing is in set in stone, but I gotta look that up. Damn, I had no idea.
Definitely interesting. All right, Obsto, you're up.
All right, all right. This is gonna be a simple one, but what was your least favorite meta ever?
Oh my god, there's so many metas that I've went up against. Oh my god.
But what was your least favorite meta? Like, is there any meta that made you want to uninstall?
God, I gotta go through. Hold on, give me a second. Let's see, LOE. Let's see, Kaioken, red, purple with droids, beasts, mono purple. Oh my god. So I feel like the one that my least favorite meta to go up against would have to be. Oh my god. there's so many. Oh my god, I had to think of this real quickly to go up which one I hated the most. I think it had to be. Go Frieza's also another one too. I think it had to be a tie between Tag Droids and Beast Gohan.
That's
Like
valid.
OG Beast Gohan.
OG Beast Gohan. That
I can see
man
that.
is the only character in Legends that made me not run full GT. I had this. I was doing gifted summons. If someone gifted and Mega Shield donated 90 subs, so I was summoning nonstop, and I didn't have Tag Force at that time. I hated going up against this unit. That was yeah, that was up there. That's a tie between, Tag Droids and Beast Gohan.
Yep. It's like everybody's walking around with bazookas. As soon as you get touched, you're dead.
Oh yeah, boom, done. Nothing you can do.
And for my second question, in a similar vein, who is your singular least favorite unit ever to go up against?
I think it might be Beast Gohan.
Blue Beast
All right,
Gohan.
all right.
Blue Beast Gohan might be the one that I just hated going up against, and I hated it so much that I had to use the unit. I hated every single second of I was just torn. I said I couldn't do anything. He reset, and some other units may have reset the meta and all that, but Blue Beast Gohan, and just it tore it took it. I hated myself for having to use this unit.
He had to become
I
the
could-
evil.
I had to. That's the only unit that has made me not run full GT. And then once Tag Force is like, I'm throwing that unit away.
Hmm.
I threw that man in the closet. This man's collecting dust. You'll never see
Yeah,
it.
I'm happy. I'm happy that I wasn't playing at the time because of I was taking a break from the game because of I uninstalled because of MUI. I hated fighting him so much, and I waited until he was out of the meta. And when Beast Gohan was out, I still wasn't playing.
Yeah,
So I'm just thankful I wasn't there.
You dodged
yeah.
the
The
bullet.
tag droids meta I'm talking about, with like you guys already know, is the tag droids. For people who don't, is tag droids, MUI, and then Whis. That was also red purple. That was not MUI was not fun because people were just sitting in the back. I'm not doing anything. If you attack, you're taking damage.
Do you want to see a video of me one-shotting all three of those units with Blue Gamma 2?
Oh yeah, that would be fun. That'd be funny to see.
I'll post it after the pod.
Nice.
Too funny. All right, last but not least, we got you, Desla.
Yeah, so real quick for like a brief tangent. Glow, I don't mean to be like a Debbie Downer or whatever, but like that post you're talking about, like I remember it. I think I remember like I was down at I don't think I was still there actually. Hold on, let me just like check this real quick to like 100% sure. But I just got back recently at that point from like being out like at the Outer Banks, whatever. And I remember like someone sending me like a thing on Instagram or whatever, but like, oh my God, dude, like, are you serious? And like, it was, I think the exact thing you're talking about, like, I can literally like, while y'all were like giving your questions and all that kind of stuff, I actually like pulled it up. Bad news, that was for the most part posted on April 1st. So yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
That's good.
So
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
after.
Oh.
like, I'll double check. Like this is what you're talking about, right? Like I posted in the general chat for the pod.
That was on April 1st?
That was April 1st.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the one. I didn't even know it was posted April 1st. I saw it yesterday.
Yep.
They got him.
Never.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Got your neck,
yeah.
bro. Got your neck. Yeah, is what it is. Nah, I was like, yeah, dude. At the moment I heard you talk about like rebooting Dragon Ball, like GT and shit, I'm like, no way. Like I gotta look into this. Hold on, gotta clear that up. But anyway, my questions. If you had to pick, and I'll make it harder, obviously, if you have to like narrow it more on GT, like for your answer for it, which I mean is fine if it is. But if you had to pick, what is like your de facto, like, dude, every time I see it, it still hits the same way, like #1 moment in Dragon Ball.
Like the talking about like a reveal or like a certain character, like
any moment you want.
There's a decent amount of moments, but I think the #1 moment for me, I think it was when the OG Super Saiyan Force came. That was really hype for me because I was waiting for them because I started with Dokkan and then I came to Legends. And Dokkan loves Super Saiyan Force. They love GT over there.
Oh yeah.
And so I come over to Legends, and because I'm a competitive person. We're playing Legends because we're all competitive.
Yep.
I play sports. I play into golf, and I know I'm an old man. You're all just roasting me, everybody listening to this. I'm competitive, so I want to win. So we put Legends to win. I was really hyped because I might have been walking just out, and then when I saw like the video, the reveal of it, I was hyped as hell. And I know that you had the moments for G4 happening. I was at a gig when it happened. I was almost throwing my phone. But I think the first time that Super Saiyan 4s were implemented into the game, that was probably my number one moment.
That's fair. That's fair. And then, like, if you had to like narrate on like on the show specifically, what would it be?
I think the first time I watched it might be my best moment, and I didn't know what Dragon Ball was. I talked about my first moment when watching Dragon Ball was I was scrolling through Nicktoons actually to find something to watch. I was eating breakfast, and I found Dragon Ball Z Kai. I said, "What is this?" And I saw Nappa fighting Piccolo, and I said, "What is this? This is awesome!" And they had another episode after that, and I was like, "I'm hooked. I want to watch more." And at that point, Kai was getting at least up to the Frieza saga, and then stopped when Purunga was summoned, and then they just stopped for a while. I said, I want to watch more. I want to see the fight. And luckily, I had a buddy who was also into Dragon Ball, and he lent me everything so I could watch it. So I think the first moment that I watched it was, again, it had to be Nappa versus Piccolo. That was my first moment within Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no, that's fair, dude. I mean, I was also exposed to Nicktoons the same way, where, I mean, I stumbled it like you did, where the first episode I saw was also on Nicktoons, but it was like Goku Trey and King Kai's Planet. That was the first episode I ever saw, and I was like, dude, what the hell is this? Because, like, back then, in terms of, like, for context, when I was exposed to it, like, I was in 5th grade. So I was like, what the... Dude, this looks weird. Like, what am I looking at right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I kept watching, and I was like just intrigued and everything. But like the moment that like again, I think we got to like see Goku Vegeta like fight for the first time. I'm like, oh, this is something special. Okay, yeah, all right, I gotta lock in. Like
Yeah.
I can't miss this. Honestly, respectful though. I mean, dude, like everyone's first moment, I would definitely say that it's fair to say that first exposure moment is definitely like a highlight for sure because I mean that's like that's where the magic begins, dude. And at that point, like, if you stick with it for the distance, like I'm assuming all of us have, like, it's a long journey that's still going.
Still
in terms
pays
of, like,
off.
so
Yeah, and so I guess to go off a little bit more on that is without me watching that, I wouldn't be here right now.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I wouldn't be here right now. And, it's been more than a month or close to it since we learned about Akira Toriyama.
Right.
And, I never knew the man, but that's the first time that the celebrity's death kind of hit a little hard. I don't know. I've never experienced that. I've experienced death in my family. That also sucks, so that's not good. But for a person I didn't know at all, and if I never watched that episode, I wouldn't be here right now. So there's so many friends that I've made from Dragon Ball itself. It's crazy. One man just created a whole universe to be able to have so much friends in it.
Yep. Absolutely, dude. Like, I think we covered it when the news was fresh for the pod, and it's like you mentioned, dude. Like, literally, I could give a rat's ass when a celebrity passes for the most part. Like, dude, I don't know them, they don't know me. Why would I care? Toriyama passing, like, for context, I saw that, like I mentioned before, for the first time when I was in 5th grade. I was 10. I turned 24 in a month. Like, it's been a part of my life for about a decade and a half, pretty much. And when I heard about it, again, I have no connection with the guy. He has no connection with me. But, like, just when I heard about it, like, it hit. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but, I mean, like, when I found that out, dude, like, and I really reflected on it, like, I don't get emotional super often, but, like damn. I gotta be real. It was. But,
Yeah. It's crazy.
Absolutely, dude. Like the amount of people it brought out in droves talking about it is still. If that is not telling enough to you about the impact that it has had globally, I don't know what will. I really don't.
Agreed.
So, yep. But yeah. Anyway, just so I don't get on that emotional tangent. Second question would be, what was like the catalyst for you wanting to say, "Yep, I'm main GT, 110%. I'm doing this."
I think I mentioned it before. I was watching some people when I first got into the game. I want to see, because I like watching. I like watching people play Call of Duty, and so I said when I got into Legends, I said, let me see if people stream Legends. I found Prof. I found Swift Killer back then, and there's a couple other things. I saw ZVG, all these people, and I was like, all right, cool. I can be able to see how people fight, and that's how I learned how to play Legends, is by watching people that are better than you. Then you can
Right.
learn. gotta be able to play the game. That's the best way advice. Because some people ask me, how do I get better at Legends? How do I get better at Legends? I'm not getting anywhere. You just have to watch people that are better than you. And so I saw all these people, and I still love GT through the series, and I said, no one's maining this. No one's maining this tag. And I started streaming. Well, the first time I did was around second anniversary. So I had the Super Saiyan 4s were there. I think I was running Sin, Full Power, and Vegeta on
Okay.
streams. I said, no one's running this. I said, I'm going to be, when I get my computer, when I get my PC and all that type of stuff, like, I'm going to take this streaming serious. I said, I'm going to be the GT guy. I want everybody to know when they think of GT, they think of me. That was my main goal. I didn't care what it is. If they sucked, so be it. I don't care. I'm using this team. I don't care. And I stuck at least by that. Now I'm trying to get into YouTube, and everyone's on my ass if I use a different tag. But that's just my main goal that I wanted to. And I think I have achieved that because at least so many people would think, when they think of GT, they think of me.
Yep.
Yeah, mission success. I mean, the more thing like I was curious about, it's definitely interesting. You're going more the route of like the obviously content creator angle of like wanting to, I guess, kind of stick out for the crowd in terms of like there wasn't really a specific unit that like just made you like click and go, yep, I gotta do it. It was more so just like you noticed the landscape and didn't see many people like gravitating towards GT, and you're like, yep, that's my in. So, okay, gotcha. Because I thought, like, normally for me, in terms of what I've been exposed to, there's usually, like, obviously, I'm more so exposed to people who are, like, non-content creators, obviously, so that's kind of the differing perspective I have there. But what I noticed usually is, like, there's a unit that's, like, usually a catalyst that, like, makes them feel encouraged to want to pick up that tag and focus on them solely. So that's kind of why I went that angle. But, yeah, no, I mean, dude, honestly, mad respectful because, I mean, right now, I don't know if you know, but in the past, ever since playing since day one, kind of off and on, I had 3 accounts. And the reason why I had 3 accounts is because the fact that 2 of them actually got hit with bans. So before you freak out, the reason why I at least deduced, because I'll be fully transparent on this, I have never once cheated a day in my life. I have not tried to, do anything that would be like considered like, I guess, a breach of like terms of service or something, but whatever. I believe it's because of how the game works in terms of like it's going off like a mass reporting system. And back during when like God rank was like first implemented and all that kind of stuff, like with my second account I was grinding hard. I'll be honest with you. Like every season I was like, yep, God rank, gotta do it, like just gotta. And what I've noticed is that it tends to be a thing of where if you get a certain amount of like volume of reports that come in from like whomever it may be, like your account gets flagged. That's at least what I picked up on. And then you're hit with obviously that warning where everything's reset, blah, blah, whatever. And then obviously if you keep doing it, like essentially what I picked up on is that like if you go into the season after that, after you're hit with that warning, like you're just asking for it at that point. Like it is what it is. Obviously I didn't know that for the first time. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. It's not gonna be a big deal. And then I learned that the hard way. Second time I didn't do it and I chilled out for a season and I went back in and it still happened. So I'm like, sick. All right, awesome. In terms of that, like the first time I was playing the game, I was mainly interested in Sun Family, and again, full transparency on this, I sucked ass at the game when I was playing with my first account. I was awful. So, like, it was during that like year 1 where I honestly just didn't really like touch the game all that much because like for me it just seemed very like it was kind of getting its legs, so that makes sense. Like before the first anniversary, like I really don't think like it was kind of like the Wild West of Legends, that makes sense. Like everything went the way it went. There were like periods where like random ass units were just throwing like different comps. Eventually we had some cohesiveness in terms of like certain tags like kind of rising up like Providence or whatever. But I'm still glad I was not playing during year 1 because there's still some god awful metas I definitely avoided, like OG hybrids, the Holy Trinity,
Holy Trinity.
OG,
Year 1 was
Oh.
hilarious.
OG,
No, and-
OG region. Yeah, no thanks. I'm good.
Well, to stop
The
you
early
for
years were so stupid.
to stop you for
People
one
were
second.
saying blast step was illegal.
Oh, yeah. To stop you for 1 second, Des. When I did a video or not really a video, a top 10 units of all time, everybody was saying Purple Broly was the number 1 purple. I didn't experience that, so I had no idea. but
Oh, yeah.
everybody was just saying it. So I said,
thankfully
we're
didn't
good.
experience it either. I
You
thankfully
dodged
didn't
the
experience it
bullet.
either. Yeah.
That was the one. Then Green Goten, the Bardock. There were so many other units, but I did experience, Revhan, not Revhan, Lockhon. I
God.
experienced him. I had the FSK,
Oh.
Android 18, like some of the other units that when I got into the game, yes, I did. But Broly was the one of the few that I did not experience.
Yeah, everything post first anniversary I'm familiar with at this point.
Mhm.
So in terms of like having personal experience like dealing with, but it wasn't until they dropped that like Second Coming Broly movie with like the OG Sun Family trio that like I was like, ooh, dude, I kind of want to like someone on this. It seems like a little banner. And obviously, I had no idea at the time that the anniversary was like a month out, pretty much when that came out. I was like, dude, whatever. I don't really care. This banner's cool.
Yeah.
And like that was the main catalyst that made me want to like main Sun Family at that point. I was like, dude, this tag's fun. Not gonna lie. And then of course they dropped what is still to this day my favorite unit in the entire game, and that was Blue Namek Goku, the OG counter god. I think in August after the first anniversary, and I mean, dude, like even though I was ass, I felt like a god. I don't know how else to put it. Like prior to the nerf that he got with like how tackle step worked or just tackle in general, like he just felt untouchable. Like it was ridiculous. I was not one of the types who would use him like where I just sit in the back and like do nothing. Like I thought that was like just I don't know, bro. Like just the epitome of like touch grass behavior, but whatever. Then after that, ban happened at some point after that. I think it was when like the Blue Kid Buu dropped, like the LF one. Around that time was when I got hit with that. Second account I got, I decided to say, you know what, screw it. I'll go ahead and main Powerful Time because I'm like, why not? It's a fun tag that's kind of like somewhat like newish because correct me if I'm wrong. Kid Buu dropped in 2021, right? I'm pretty sure. And then PO was like implemented with Jiren, like with the OG like UI sign, like the purple one, I think.
Sounds about right.
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So I decided to make PO for that second account. Then I got hit with another ban. I'm like, you know what, whatever. At this point, third account I make. If I get hit with another ban for the third one, man, that's just 3 strikes you're out. Baseball rules. I'm dipping. I ain't playing this game anymore. Not doing it. For that, I kind of just looked over the past in terms of, like what I like gravitated towards for tags that interested me the most. It was Sun Family, and again, you'll like this. It was actually GT. GT for me has it's never had a point where it's been toxic, honestly, in terms of meta impact and how it kind of, I guess, interacts with the meta. Like there's never been a point where GT's been like you queue up with GT and you're like, oh god, kill me. Like no, that never happens because they actually design them well and don't overtune them unless your name's Super 17. But anyway, so right now the main interests are again Sun Family, GT, and actually DB. I do enjoy me some OG DB. I'm a big fan of it, and I pray to God we get more for them this year. I'd love to have more of that because it was definitely a big surprise to even get anything for them at all last year.
Yeah.
Like I was like, wow, okay. I cannot say for with confidence that I ever expected to see units from this tag, but I'll be damned. I'm cool with it.
We'll see what they
Yeah, I don't know.
keep staying in that same trend with Dragon Ball, though, since we
I
see
hope
like
I get more, man. I hope I get more.
an update like once a year or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like that ends our special guest segment. So thanks again, Sax, for joining on this week's episode and just allowing us to ask you a gauntlet of questions related to just, how you play the game, how you see the anime, and just a little bit of personal stuff about yourself. So we appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's when this episode comes out, I'll definitely be taking a listen to how my my ugly voice comes out because I hate the way I hear myself when I hear a recording. I'm like, oh, that's what I sound like. I'm like, oh my god,
You're gonna be
it's so
fine.
bad. But no, like I said, you guys, if you haven't listened to these guys, you got to do it. And one more thing I want to say before we end, Toshi, you owe me. Toshi, when you're listening to this podcast, give me Red, Ultra, Omegas, Plats. You owe me that.
We still waiting for that.
No, we're never getting that. We're never getting that.
My goodness. All right, so for our last segment, which is Dragon Ball related news, I believe the only thing that's really related is the new Godzilla movie. If you guys haven't checked that out, that's currently in theaters now, but they've had some conversation with the directors, and Godzilla's form, where he turns purple, was actually inspired by Dragon Ball. It's supposed to be referencing Goku's Kaioken technique. So if you ever get a chance, by all means, check out that movie. There's some cool elements there. between King Kong and them fighting each other. So definitely check that out. But that is it for this week's episode. Again, we're going to have Sack's socials in the description for this week's episode. So if you want to follow him on his multiple platforms, you'll be able to see his Twitch, his Twitter, and YouTube. So by all means, give him a follow. And we'll have our next week's episode. We'll talk about more meta news, relevancy, and see what happens with the game next. But until next time, I hope you guys have an awesome week.
See you.
Later.